In this video, I'm going to talk about the last two angle theorems and angle properties of inside circles. We have previously discussed central angles and inscribed angles, and we're going to, in this video, discuss the last two. So please make sure, if you have not watched about an inscribed angle or a central angle, that you go back and you watch those videos, because this video otherwise would be confusing. So I'm going to do an interior angle first. So an interior angle, guess where the vertex of this angle is? It's in the circle, okay? So an interior angle, its vertex is inside the circle. Okay? So the weird thing about an interior angle is I have two congruent angles, because those are vertical angles, and those vertical angles are congruent. So because you have, with an interior angle, it makes an X, that means you have two sets of corresponding arcs that actually are also that correspond to those specific angles. So when I'm talking about the interior angle theorem, I can't just relate the angle to one arc, because those angles are congruent, which doesn't necessarily mean those arcs are congruent. So how I would figure that out is I would take the average of the two arcs. So how you take the average of something is you add them up and you divide by the number of numbers. So I would add up arc A plus arc B and divide by 2. Divide by 2, that's going to get you your angle, which in this case is X. So I always draw what I call a bow tie. So here's my angle, and these are my arcs. That makes a bow tie. Okay, so whenever it's a bow tie, I add up my angles. Now, if we go over here and we talk about an exterior angle, guess where the exterior angle's vertex is? Outside the circle. Oh, you're so smart. It's the angle, let's say its vertex is outside the circle. Okay. So notice again, this angle here corresponds to two arcs because it touches it cuts my circle twice. So there, when it's outside, I take my bigger arc, B, and I subtract it from my little arc A, and then I divide by 2, and that's going to get me my angle. So when it's an interior angle, I add up my arcs and divide by 2. When it's an exterior angle, I subtract my arcs and divide by 2. And you always do big arc minus little arc, because otherwise you're going to have a negative angle, and that makes no sense. So if I come over here and I look at these problems, you now are going to want to start asking yourself, what kind of angle is it? Is it central, inscribed, interior, exterior? So for review, a central angle is on the center, an inscribed angle is on the circle, an interior angle is inside the circle, and an exterior angle is outside the circle. Okay, so if I look at angle X, that's right here, look at this angle right there. It's an inscribed angle because it's inside my circle. So when it's an inside angle, I do my bow tie. So I know it's my two arcs divided by 2. So 175 plus 55 divided by 2, and that's going to get me X. So if I open up a calculator here, 175 plus 55 is 230. Divide that by 2. X is 115 degrees. Okay? If I look at this next angle, I want to ask myself, is this angle central, inscribed, interior, exterior? Well, it's an exterior angle because it's outside my circle, so I have to find the two arcs that it touches, that it makes with that angle. And I do big arc minus little arc, divide by 2, that's going to get me my angle. Okay, so 140 minus 50 is 90, and 90 divided by 2 is 45. If I look at this next problem, I already have the angle. It says it's 120. Now I want the arc. But you still want to ask yourself what angle is being formed. Central, inscribed, interior, exterior. Well, that's an interior angle being formed. So since it's an interior angle being formed, I'm going to draw my bow tie. Okay, and I'm going to set it up the same way. Arc plus arc divided by 2 equals angle. Now all I do is solve for x. Multiply by 2 on both sides to get rid of fractions. So now I have 60 plus x equals 240. So x equals 180. Now it doesn't look like a semicircle. Well, actually it kind of does if I were to draw my diameter here, if I can draw straight on this screen. I cannot draw straight on my screen. If I try one more time. Close enough. It looks like a semicircle. Okie dokie, so I want you to try these last 6 problems on your own. When you finish these problems, I want you to unpause this video, and you can either fast forward to the end, just check your answers, or you can have me go through all of them with you together. It's whatever you need to be successful for an interior and exterior angle. So if I look at this next example, number 4, I notice it's an interior angle, so I'm going to make my bow tie. So 129 plus 71 divided by 2 equals my angle, x. So 129 plus 71 divided by 2, x should be 100. Number 5 is an exterior angle because it's outside, so I have to find the 2 angles that it touches. It touches 125 and 27, so since it's exterior, I'm going to subtract. So I'm going to do 125 minus 27, divide that by 2, x should be 49 degrees. This next one is an interior angle because it's floating inside and I see my bow tie. So I see 52 plus x divided by 2 equals my angle. Multiply by 2 to get rid of fractions. So 52 plus x equals 80. So 80 minus 52 is 28 degrees. If I do these last 3 problems. Now this is an interesting one because notice x, if I draw my bow tie, because it's an interior angle, notice x is not inside my bow tie, it's outside. So I have to find this angle first. So I'm going to do 19 plus 107 divided by 2 equals x. So 19 plus 107 divided by 2, so x is 63. Well, I'm not going to call it x. I'm going to call it, sorry, probably shouldn't have called it x. Let's call it question mark. So question mark equals 63 degrees. So this right here is 63 degrees. So how do you think I'm going to find x? Well, it makes a linear pair. So 180 minus 63 is 117. So x is 117 degrees. If I look at this number 8 here, number 8 is an exterior angle. It touches this arc and that arc. But notice I don't know what this arc is. Well, I know from here to here it's 265. So if I wanted to figure out what this little sliver is, I would just do 360 minus 265 because all arcs add up to equal 360. So this arc is 95. So now I can do 265 minus 95 divided by 2 equals x. So 265 minus 95 is 170. Divide that by 2, x, is 85 degrees. If I do the last one, I know from here to here it's 200, and from there to there it's 40, so I can do 360 minus 240. This arc is 120. And I know x is an exterior angle. It touches 120 and 200. So 200 minus 120 divided by 2 equals x. So 200 minus 120 is 80. Divide that by 2, I should get 40 degrees. So the big thing when you're solving these types of problems is that you always want to ask yourself what type of angle am I given? Central, inscribed, interior, exterior. If you know your vocabulary words, it makes this astronomically easier.